So, does stress affect your gains? So does stress affect sort of performance and training and that sort of thing? And stress gets blamed for a lot of different things, and maybe this is actually quite true. In this particular study, they looked at people who had chronic stress, which means they have long-standing stress issues, and they picked people purposefully for that purpose, and they got another group of people who basically don't suffer with stress themselves. And then basically they trained them and they saw what occurred. And what they found is that the stressed group were negatively affected. They found that in terms of their muscular performance, their muscular activity, it was diminished more and more long-standing than the stress-free group or the low-stress group. They found that it affected muscle function for 96 hours after the training session, which is obviously not great, because obviously this means that if you're going to want to train at any regularity, frequency through the week, and you are a chronic stress sufferer, then you are going to find training difficult, and or at least not optimal performance, which is going to therefore affect strength improvements, endurance improvements. It's going to affect muscle building, performance, and so on. So it's going to have a negative effect, and 96 hours is quite a long period of time. So therefore stress certainly affects this in a negative way, according to this research. They also found that for 96 hours after as well, they had greater levels of sensitivity, so more delayed onset muscle soreness. It lasted for longer in the stress group. Whether or not it actually creates biologically a difference, or more they are more sensitive because of the stress, because we know that definitely affects pain thresholds and pain sensitivities. But again, if they're in more pain, that's going to inhibit muscle function, which we've already found, and it's just going to make them not feel so good. So this highlights that stress is very, very key. Now, it's easier said than done to just say, well, that means you've got to lower your stress. Well, that's obvious that you want to do that, but you need to obviously get expert help and opinion on this. But there are a lot of self-help things that are out there with stress relief. I mean, what's interesting is exercise itself is a stress reliever, but obviously exercise has got to be careful in highly stressed individuals, because if they aren't able to perform as well, or they're more sensitive or whatever, they might risk more likelihood of injury, but certainly they're not going to train as well, and this will affect things negatively. So this highlights stress does affect your gains. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.